It was a quiet evening by the lake. The orange sun hung low, melting slowly into the calm, glassy water. Birds were flying home. The gentle waves shimmered in golden light. Everything looked peaceful, almost too peaceful. But for Mrs. Helen Carter, peace was the last thing she felt. She stood behind an old oak tree, her breathing shallow, her fingers cold. Her eyes were fixed on a figure near the water, her daughter-in-law, Lena. Lena was standing close to the edge of the lake, holding something, a big, dark suitcase. It looked heavy. She struggled with it, adjusted her grip, and then, to Helen's shock, she threw it into the lake. A loud splash shattered the silence. Ripples spread across the water. Lena stood frozen for a second, then looked around nervously, left, right, as if afraid someone was watching. Helen ducked behind the tree. Her heart was pounding in her chest. When she peeked again, Lena was already walking away quickly, her steps hurried, her eyes wide with guilt. Helen's mind was racing. What was in that suitcase? Why would she throw it away like that? A chill ran down her spine. She whispered to herself, almost afraid of her own thoughts. Could it be something illegal? Something dangerous? Or... Her breath caught. A body? The image horrified her. She closed her eyes, trying to shake the thought away. But once a seed of suspicion is planted, it grows like wildfire. That night, the house was quiet, but Helen couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, her mind replaying the scene over and over again. Down the hallway, her son Michael slept peacefully beside Lena, the same Lena who, just hours ago, had thrown something into the lake under the setting sun. Helen stared at the ceiling. Michael adored his wife. They had been married for 3 years, and though Helen never fully understood Lena's quiet nature, she respected her, until tonight. Now everything felt different. If she told Michael what she saw, it could destroy his marriage, maybe even his life. But if she stayed silent, and if a crime really had been committed, could she live with that? The questions tormented her. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind made her jump. Finally, around dawn, she made up her mind. She would find out the truth herself. When the sun rose, Michael and Lena left the house, Michael for work, Lena saying she had errands to run. The moment their car disappeared down the road, Helen grabbed her coat, a pair of gloves, and a long stick from the garden shed. Her legs trembled slightly, but she forced herself forward. The lake shimmered under the morning light. The calm surface hid its secrets well. Helen walked along the shore, eyes scanning the water. And then she saw it, a dark corner peeking just beneath the surface near the reeds. Her heart leapt. The suitcase. She stepped into the shallow water, her shoes sinking into the mud. With trembling hands, she used the stick to pull the suitcase closer. It took nearly an hour of effort. Her back ached, her breath came short, but finally, she managed to drag it onto the shore. For a moment, she just stood there, staring. The suitcase was soaked, its edges muddy. Her hands shook as she reached for the lock. She hesitated. What if she was right? What if she was about to uncover something horrific? She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and slowly unlatched the suitcase. The sound of the click echoed through the quiet air. Helen lifted the lid, and froze. Inside the suitcase, there was no body. No blood. No money. No signs of anything illegal. Just memories. A small stuffed teddy bear with one eye missing. A bundle of old baby clothes, neatly folded. And a broken photo frame, its glass cracked, showing a faded picture of Lena holding a tiny pink blanket. Helen frowned, confused. She picked up the photo frame and turned it over. Taped to the back was a small envelope, slightly water-stained. It had Lena's name written on it. Her heart pounding, Helen hesitated again, then opened the envelope. Inside was a letter. Lena's handwriting was soft, graceful, emotional. Helen began to read. "These are the memories of my baby girl who died before birth. I kept them for years, but I can't move on while I see them every day. Today, I'm letting go, not because I want to forget, but because I want to heal. I want to start a new chapter, for Michael, for our family, and for myself." Helen's eyes filled with tears. Her knees grew weak, and she sat down on the damp ground, clutching the letter to her chest. All her dark thoughts, her fears, her suspicions, they crumbled away like dust. She realized how wrong she had been. How easily she had judged Lena without knowing the pain she carried. That evening, Lena returned home. She was surprised to see Helen waiting in the living room, smiling softly. "Helen? Is everything all right?" she asked gently. Helen stood, walked up to her, and without a word, pulled her into a hug. Lena froze, then slowly hugged her back. After a moment, Helen whispered, "Sometimes, we must let go of the past, to find peace." Lena blinked, confused at first, but then, when she looked into Helen's eyes, she understood. Helen knew. There was no anger in her gaze, only compassion. Tears welled up in Lena's eyes. She nodded silently, grateful, relieved. That night, as they all sat together at dinner, Michael, Lena, and Helen, there was something new in the air. Warmth. Respect. Love. No more suspicion. No more distance. Just family, whole again. From that day onward, Helen often visited the lake. She'd stand by the water's edge, watching the ripples, feeling the wind on her face. Sometimes she'd think about that evening, the fear, the misunderstanding, the discovery. She smiled every time. Because she had learned something priceless that day. Sometimes, a wrong thought can lead you to the right truth, if your heart is brave enough to seek it. The lake was no longer a place of mystery. It was a place of peace. A silent reminder that understanding often comes after doubt, and forgiveness, after fear. Helen looked at the sunset, orange, beautiful, calm, and whispered softly. "Rest in peace, little one. Your mother found her healing, and so did I." The wind carried her words over the water. The ripples shimmered like tiny stars. And the lake kept its new secret, one not of guilt or crime, but of love, loss, and redemption.